G'day all, Thorrn here. I figure it's about time I share the tips and tactics I've learned over my time fighting the Vanduul. Of course, all of this was done inside my Hornet, where my current record is reaching wave 41, but most of it should carry over fine to the other ships. First up, to win any fight, you need to stay alive. So I'm going to share some of the key points to achieving the worthy goal of not dying. Movement is life, stillness is death. Time and time again I forgot this, thinking I was safe, only to be blown up moments later. You have to keep moving, making yourself as hard a target as possible. And flying in a straight line does not count as movement. You actually need to be changing speed and direction to throw off your enemy's firing solutions. When doing head-on jousting attacks, make sure you use decoupled flight and strafing. If an enemy is running and out of range, don't get target fixation. While you are busy trying to catch him, you are bound to have another Vanduul on your 6, and while chasing his friend in a straight line, you're an easy target. Learn to fight in time with your ship. For example, with a Hornet I need to watch the Gatling gun heat, the shields, and sometimes even the laser power level. Just quickly, be careful using any laser weapon on the Hornet, they drain the shields badly, so I tend to ignore them unless all the other weapons have been blown off. Now back to the rhythm of fighting. When your ship's guns are overheating or have no power, you can't do any damage. And if your shields are down, you're at real risk of damage yourself. When one or both of these is true, get out of there if you can. Do a withdrawal and let your ship get back to its best condition before another attack. Sticking around with weapons cooling is exposing yourself for no good reason, and only fight when your shields are down if you can't get away. But you know what's better than having your shields up? Having an asteroid or space station be your shield. Those things are tough. When you're losing a fight, or if you just need to give your ship time to recover, use whatever you can as a shield. Just a quick note though, don't count on them to stop missiles. You still need to use those countermeasures. To make your life easier, try and fight near that good cover. Don't let yourself be drawn so far out you can't get back to it. When you need it, remember that boost key. Just also remember that the fuel is limited, and I've managed to run out myself a few times. Last, don't get into a fight you know you're going to lose. If the Vanduul are flying in a huge pack, going into them would be pretty much suicide in the later waves. Use obstacles to try and break them up so you can pick them off easier. I try to start every wave already in cover. Even an Alpha is pretty easy to handle alone. Now a key part to fighting the Vanduul is knowing where they are, so I'll share a few of the tips of how to keep track of them. First up, back to that situation when you're chasing down an enemy. If you think your 6 is clear and you want to keep chasing, then you can repeatedly hit the nearest hostile key. If, for example, your target is 800 meters away and you press it. If you still have him targeted, you know that no one is within 800 meters behind you. If your target does change, then you know you have a much closer problem to worry about. You can also use the cycle hostile key, particularly when the pack is thinned out a little. As you cycle through, you'll get a quick indication of distance and direction of each ship. If you want to, you can even pin a few important targets up on the right to keep that information there. Last, you have the radar. Quickly scan both of your allies. Now anything that does not show up as a blue triangle is a hostile. Medium zoom goes out to 6,000 meters and close to 1,000 meters. Switching to close is another good way to watch your 6. If anything appears on the radar, then you know it's a close and intimate threat, while medium is needed for locating hostiles at a distance. Now you're alive, and you know where the enemy is. It's time to get to the good stuff. Killing Vanduul. First I'll quickly cover missiles. Try not to use them at all till the later waves. As you get better, you'll need them less and less. They do restock, but it seems unreliable, so I like to treat them as if they don't. Now I've only done it once so far, but when I beat all 15 waves with 1 life, I only used 2 missiles on the 13th wave, 3 on the 14th, and 3 on the 15th. When you do start to use them, do it right away when the round starts. No point waiting. Now who to kill with your missiles and guns? First up, I target the biggest threats first, so that means any of the named primes, followed by the alphas, hunters, and scavengers. For missiles it's easy, you don't need to get close, just under 1500 meters. But when using guns, you need to take other things into account as well. If there is an easy kill, go for it. If one Vanduul is by himself, again, take the opportunity. Remember how I told you not to get target fixation? Well, the Vanduul don't seem to have learned that. While they chase after you or your allies, they fly a very predictable path, making them an easy target to hit. If it is you they are after, then just remember to keep moving. Use strafe if you are turning to fire back at them. Now we have an idea of who to kill, but how do we go about doing it? You need to know the weapons on your ship. The Gatling guns work best up close, under 500 meters I find, while the lasers can reach out much further. Experiment, and see what range works best for your loadout. Just remember, the Vanduul will typically start to evade when your first shot hits them. so get up close to finish them off before they can get away if you can. Now, as an example of me putting this all together, I'm going to use my normal opening tactic. A round starts with a prime. I cycle targets quickly to locate him while sticking behind cover. I wait for him to move close, so I don't need to move far from the cover, then accelerate out to meet him, darting in close to the optimal range of the Gatling guns and let fly. Hopefully I get a quick kill, but more importantly, my guns are now heated, my shields are starting to be hit, and I am clearly outnumbered. Time to withdraw and let my ship recover, watching for my next chance to strike. I hope that was a help. And more importantly, I hope it saves you the time and deaths it took me to learn that all. If you've got anything you want to add, or if you've got any ideas for videos, just chuck them down below. And if you want to keep seeing videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Good hunting.
Next hostile.
Collision.